lovely people. It's day 21 now. Can't believe we're only 4 days away from Christmas. So exciting. But I'm also really excited today because not only is it the winter solstice, but it's also the day of the great conjunction of the planets Jupiter and Saturn. This is the closest that they will get to Earth, and we'll be able to see them in the night sky. Fingers crossed we've got clear skies and it's not cloudy. It's currently cloudy and overcast right now, but I have hope, I have faith, I am optimistic that we'll be able to see it. The last time that this happened was in 1623, so this is kind of like a once in 400 years event, so I'm hoping to be able to see it, and that would be awesome. We like watching the night skies, really awesome. So wherever you are in the world, maybe keep an eye out for that. If you've got clear skies, you will have the opportunity to see the two planets aligned together, the closest that they're ever going to get to Earth for another 400 years or so. So really excited about that. Very slow day today. I'm hoping to get into Christmas sewing. I'm cutting it close. I am cutting it close because it's only 4 days left until Christmas. And I haven't yet started on the Christmas sewing. So, Shakara, could it be that I will meet with defeat? Gonna have to see. Hang out with us. We are all on holiday today. There's some baking plans, cleaning, eating, food, fun, loads of noise, so much noise. Speaking of which, can we get some Christmas carols going? So the other day I was mentioning about how I use lactase enzyme because even though I'm lactose intolerant, I will not give up dairy. I won't. One of the things that I absolutely love is clotted cream, and I'm making some clotted cream. Love making our own clotted cream. It's so delicious. Goes well with the crumble. So I'm making it because we've got several desserts coming up that we'll use clotted cream with. Apart from the fact that I just love clotted cream, so I started it off yesterday. You use some fresh double cream. Morning, boo boo. Should I come and say hello? Oh! Got a boo boo here. Hello. She's actually wearing an old Christmas make. I made this jumper from an Ottobre pattern about 5 years ago, actually. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. They had a lie-in today. So clotted cream is what I was talking about. So I've had it in the oven on a low temperature, fan assisted. If your oven isn't fan assisted, you can go up to 80 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that translates to Fahrenheit, but yeah. But you keep it on low, and it's like in a white Pyrex dish, and you just leave it in overnight for 12 hours. And then I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take it out right now because I had it overnight thing. And then it's going to go into the fridge, and then I'm going to chill it for another 12 hours before I separate the curds to actually make a delicious clotted cream.
Hello. Hello.
So here it is. A little bit warm. Then here we go. So we have these thick curds that have formed. Right. As you can tell by the lighting situation, we have another lovely day here in the north of England. Let me just show you. It's very atmospheric. Just come by the window. the lighting isn't the best that it could be, but I have managed to finish most of my morning chores and I'm now back. I'm now in the sewing cave, which is really awesome. I didn't manage to get into the sewing cave yesterday. Never mind. C'est la vie, we just roll with the flow. Hang on, let me just pop this down. Oops. I'm so not with it today. But yeah, so my hand that got stung by a wasp is still quite painful. I haven't been able to do my yoga in the mornings since I got stung by the wasp, which is very, very frustrating. Doesn't endear me to wasps at all because I can't even get into downward facing dog or anything. Yeah, so I started taking antihistamine actually because I still have a bump on it and it was still quite itchy, so I've taken antihistamine. I wanted to share with you my Christmas sewing plans for today, which, fingers crossed, touch wood and everything, I should be able to finish today. I don't know. Let me just go grab them. Okay, so I've got them here. I have this lovely crepe jersey that I'm going to use to make the it's the Prisma pattern from Love Notion for the girls. That's going to be their Christmas Day dress. Fingers crossed and touch wood. I'm also making myself a one of 3 Christmas Day outfits. I know it's silly, it's frivolous to plan on 3 Christmas Day outfits, but it's a very different Christmas that we're having this year, unlike any other Christmas that we've had before. It's the first Christmas that my father-in-law, who lives in the United States, isn't attending in like forever. All of my children's lives, they've always had grandpa around for Christmas. So we don't have that, and we're kind of trying to deal with that. And part of my way of dealing with it is being like a J-Lo and planning 3 outfit changes for Christmas. Okay, so for the first one is going to be nice and trim and a very slim silhouette before I feast, because once I do feast, I have that, food baby belly going. So there's going to be something, to accommodate that. And yeah, so that's the whole idea with the whole Christmassy outfit. So this is going to be for the girls. The one that I'm making for myself is already laid out, ready to cut. I'll show you that just now. These are the 2 Christmas presents, and I've got no problem talking about them here because the recipients don't actually watch my videos, so there's no risk of them finding out what they're getting for Christmas before they get it. So first of all, I'm going to be making a jumper for my husband using this fleecy fabric. It's a dark gray. All of it will be sewn on the overlocker. So all of the plans that I have are overlocker ones. That is why they are so ambitious, doable, because it's all on the overlocker. And then my oldest son, my lesser spotted teenage son, is going to be getting a similar jumper, same pattern, but it's in a camo fleece because he likes the camo fleece stuff. And I'm just going to show you the one that I'm going to be making for myself. The one that I'm making for myself uses this ponte, which has got an argyle print. It's a lovely ponte. I'm making a separate. I've got a circle skirt. I'm using a half circle skirt for the skirt. And then I am using, this is Burda 92012. Yeah, so this is Burda 92012 number 104. And it's a turtleneck jumper. There's the sleeves over there. And so it's going to be a 2-piece. And that's the thing that I'm making. Again, it's all going to be overlocked. I'm having to take a break from sewing the Burda 10 2020 120 dress so that I can get these Christmas things done. And then I'll be back to sewing that one as soon as I am finished with this ambitious, last-minute, high-pressured sewing. Does mean that... I'm in a little bit of a tizzy about it. I shouldn't have left it until the last minute, but I always seem to think I have more time than I do around Christmas. But c'est la vie. And if I have time, I want to do a couple of matching face masks for my husband because I've made him a Christmas, it's so itchy. I've made my husband like a Christmas shirt, and I want to make a matching face mask for him so that when we go to the service on Christmas Day, so they're doing like a walk-through service. You book a slot, you book a 10-15 minute slot where you sort of walk through in your bubble through the churchyard, and I don't know, they said that they're going to be doing something interesting, and knowing the church that we go to, they will be doing something interesting. So yeah, just gonna get on with it now. I have to stand over here by the window where the light is. This is, yeah, this is a little bit better. Yeah, got sidetracked a little bit by a cheese quest wherein we went to buy some Yorkshire pecorino cheese, but then we couldn't buy it because the queue was so long. We ended up having to give up after about 45 minutes in the queue. But anyway, I'm back in the sewing cave now. And I've cut out as the first of my Christmas sewing lists and all that. And what I'm doing, my process is actually that I'll cut it out and I'll sew it up. Then I'll cut out the next thing and sew it up and etc. And that's because batch sewing is a dangerous slope for me. There used to be a time where I used to do batch sewing where I would cut everything out and sew it all in one go and sort of like have 8 projects cut out. But the problem was that I would get bored of the idea of a project and I would want to move on to something new, which created the unfinished objects box of doom that I have right now. And once I switched over to one project at a time system where I would cut out a project and finish it before I started making another one, that basically reduced the number of unfinished objects to 0. So I can't do batch cutting and batch sewing. I love the excitement of starting on a new project too much. And so I prefer to start and complete a project. And I'm going to do the same thing with this Christmas stuff. That's the best way of ensuring that I actually sew the things that I'm supposed to do. So I've just loaded up the overlocker. Just loading up the overlocker over there. I have about an hour, so I'm hoping I can finish the skirt and top in the hour that I have and cut out the next thing for that. So yeah. We've just experienced the shortest day of the year. The winter solstice happened today, which is pretty awesome. It's my favorite day in winter, and I think it's my favorite day actually throughout the whole year, because for me that's the day that signifies that we're swinging back towards spring, and I love that. I love the sense of optimism that I feel when I think about spring, new growth and things like that. So very, very excited. Sadly, despite my optimism and my hope for clear nights tonight, we don't have the clear nights to be able to see the great convergence of Jupiter and Saturn. So I'm going to be watching it online. And the nice thing about watching it online is I can basically pick an observatory that I want. So I've chosen one in Italy so that I can, in my mind, pretend that I'll be seeing the convergence whilst in one of my favorite places to travel in Italy. So, but just because I can't see it in our own skies here in the north of England doesn't mean that it isn't happening. And it's a pretty awesome thing to think that the last time this ever happened was in 1623. It's almost like there should be some sort of a science fiction fantasy movie written about, the child that was born during the Great Convergence is born with powers. I don't know. You can tell I like reading a lot of science fiction fantasy stuff. But yeah, I'll be off downstairs now to do some cooking. I have managed to finish making the first Christmas sewing thing. So that's the top and the skirt for me, which was dead simple. Sometimes the simplest things are the best things to go for. So it's just a simple skirt and a simple top, but it looks amazing. I cannot wait to show it to you tomorrow, but it has to be tomorrow, sadly, because the lighting is not the best at this time. Right, let's get on. There's a sneak peek. Ooh, cannot wait. Look at that.